right, thank you for joining us. It's Issues and Answers on the Broadcasting Service. I'm Josephine Einihe. This morning we'll be looking at the role of agricultural extension workers. The role of agricultural extension workers, and we have a guru in the field that will be talking to us. A lot of us are not conversant with was all about extension workers. This morning we'll be looking at it. But before we start the conversation this morning, I'd just like to give us a tip. In 2021, there was a report by the African Seed Assets Index that Nigeria has the lowest ratio of agricultural extension workers to farmers in Africa. Nigeria has struggled to reform its agricultural sector so that we can be less dependent on oil. And any country will say to be great, any country can acclaim to be a great nation if they can feed their citizens. There's no doubt right now that a lot of Nigerians cannot have good meals any longer. If we are not good in the technological aspect, at least we can be good in the farming aspect, because our land is green and is very viable. So this morning, what are the role of extension workers in the agricultural sector? And in 2022, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development commenced the training of the third batch of agricultural extension workers nationwide. The training, which targets 750,000 agricultural extension agents nationwide, was launched in the 36 states. These are some of the information we have concerning the agricultural extension workers. For this morning, what are the role? Why do we need them? What do they need to do? What are their objectives in the field? So that's what we'll be looking at. And with me this morning to discuss this is a retired permanent secretary. He is Malam Habib Ikelowa. Welcome, sir, this morning.
Thank you. Welcome, viewers. Thank you.
All right. This is the first time for appearing in the year 2023. Maybe it's too late to say Happy New Year to the people.
Okay, sorry.
It's never too late.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, this morning we'll be looking at, I said it before. So let me start with the first question. Who is an extension worker in the agricultural sector?
Well, in the extension research and input leakage system, the grassroots, the last leg, the food soldier, who is in direct contact with the farmer, is the extension worker. That's the first line or the front line worker in extension. You have directors, you have deputy director, you have commissioner, you have this and that. But the front line food soldier, who is actually in touch with the farmer, who knows the problems of the farmer, who gives the farmer information about agriculture, that is the extension worker.
Okay. All right, that has been established. I said something about the ratio that Nigeria has the lowest. Is it true?
In fact, I think it's even more scary now. It's scarier, let me put it. It's more scary. The situation is even scarier because the World Bank recommended that a minimal ratio of one extension worker to 500 farm families. That's the recommendation of the World Bank. Right now, as we speak, the ratio in Nigeria is more than 1:2,000, in fact to 5,000. The average is about 1 to 5,000 in some states.
So that's against 500.
As against 500. So the situation is very, very scary and undesirable.
Okay.
Yeah. So what the issue is, why is it so critical? Why is everybody emphasizing the extension worker? The agriculture has become a technology or technologically based, scientifically based venture. You need to know about improved variety of seeds. You need to know about improved breeds of animal. You need to know the new techniques and technology, husbandry and management practices. You need to know about crop protection, animal health issue. You also even need how to process your product. You also need on how to access market for your product. And also, you also even need to know some basic thing about homekeeping, home economics. These are all packages that extension worker will give to you. Don't forget that all this technology, all this information, all this new way of doing things and better way of doing things, what we refer to as good agricultural practices, GAP. These are research that have been done in universities, in research institutes, and in other specialized agents. But they remain there. Somebody has to take them to the farmer. So when the person has to take this research output to the farmer so that he can improve his productivity or her productivity, is the extension worker. And in so doing too, he also now be able to see the peculiarity of the particular farmer. And that's a result of his economic circumstances, or even as a result of microclimate in his area and vegetation. And he brings back a feedback. Well, the recommendation you made about planting about this variety, well, I'm afraid it's working in Kano, but it's not working so far in Edo State because of this thing. Yeah. So that now we teach out the research institute to modify and improve, innovate their research, method and system. So that is one. Then the truth is that what has even compounded the situation very badly, in spite of the criticality of the need of extension worker, is that they need to be mobile. If they are not mobile, it's as good as they are not doing anything. Because the farming is not done at home. Farming is done in the bush. And these people, if they have to go to the bush to inform, they need to go there. That was why initially there was what we call the T&B system, the training and business system, which was initiated by Benno and Blaster. That was what solved the problem of hunger in Lydia. Before that, of that system, you could pick somebody in the street. When you do the autopsy, it's a cause of death, hunger. So when Benno and Blaster introduced the training and visit extension system, whereby you have to constantly visit the farmer, you have to constantly innovate. Then not only that, they also have to do what we call adaptive research in the farmer's farm. Okay, we want to plant guinea corn. This is where you have been planting it. This is the way science recommends that we should plant. You take a small portion of land in his farm, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, or 10 meter by 10 meter. Let's say 10 feet by 10 feet. Then let him be doing whatever he's doing as he's doing before. But ensure that whatever you are doing in that small plot, the farmer is watching. He's also participating.
So they are like teachers.
That is it's actually defined as an out-of-school education for the farmer. Okay. So it's actually an educational process. It's an out-of-school adult education for the farmer. So when you now have that, at the end of the day, because the farmer has participated, he has seen everything, by the time